The Lost Treasure of the Sapphire Sea. Chapter 1. The Mysterious Map. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a golden glow across the deck of the Black Pearl, Captain Morgan's infamous pirate ship. On this particular evening, the crew gathered around their captain, anticipation crackling in the salty air. "We've got ourselves a new lead, lads," Captain Morgan announced, unfurling a weathered parchment before his eager crew. The map depicted a series of intricate markings, leading to a remote island rumored to hold the key to the legendary treasure. Whispers of excitement rippled through the ranks as the pirates studied the map, their eyes alight with greed and ambition. 4 years, they had searched in vain for the whereabouts of the fabled treasure, but now it seemed their luck was about to change. "But mark my words, mates," Captain Morgan cautioned, his voice low and grave. "This won't be like any treasure hunt we've embarked upon before. The seas are teeming with danger, and our rivals will stop at nothing to claim the prize for themselves." The crew exchanged knowing glances, their resolve steeling in the face of the impending challenge. They had faced countless adversaries in their time, from naval fleets to mythical beasts, but nothing would deter them from their quest for riches beyond imagination. With a hearty cheer, the pirates set to work, preparing the Black Pearl for departure. As the sails billowed in the evening breeze and the ship cut through the shimmering waters, they knew that their greatest adventure was about to unfold. Little did they know, the journey ahead would test their courage, friendship, and loyalty in ways they could never have imagined. But one thing was certain, with Captain Morgan at the helm, they would stop at nothing to uncover the truth behind the mysterious map and claim the lost treasure of the Sapphire Sea. Chapter 2. Setting Sail. With the map securely stowed away in Captain Morgan's cabin, the Black Pearl set sail under the cloak of nightfall. The crew worked in tandem, their movements orchestrated with practiced precision as they prepared for the journey ahead. As the ship cut through the dark waters, Captain Morgan stood at the helm, his eyes fixed on the distant horizon. The stars above guided their path, their twinkling lights offering a semblance of comfort in the vast expanse of the open sea. But their journey was far from tranquil. Dark clouds loomed on the horizon, a harbinger of the tempest to come. The wind picked up, howling through the rigging like a vengeful spirit, and the waves surged, crashing against the Black Pearl's sturdy hull. Undeterred, Captain Morgan barked orders to his crew, his voice carrying above the roar of the storm. With each roll of the ship and each crack of lightning, their resolve only strengthened. They were pirates, after all, no strangers to danger and adversity. 4 days, they battled the elements, their journey fraught with peril at every turn. But as the storm finally abated and the sun broke through the clouds once more, the crew found themselves nearing their destination, the remote island marked on the mysterious map. With renewed determination, they set course for the unknown, their hearts ablaze with the promise of untold riches awaiting them ashore. Little did they know, the challenges they faced were only just beginning, and the true test of their mettle lay ahead on the shores of the island and beyond. Chapter 3. Encounter with Pirates. As the Black Pearl drew closer to the remote island, a sense of anticipation hung thick in the salty air. But their excitement was short-lived, for on the horizon, another ship emerged from the mist, its black sails billowing ominously in the breeze. Panic rippled through the crew as they recognized the vessel, the Scarlet Serpent, a notorious pirate ship led by the ruthless Captain Redbeard. Known for his cunning and brutality, Redbeard was a formidable adversary, and his mere presence spelled trouble for Captain Morgan and his crew. With the Scarlet Serpent closing in fast, Captain Morgan knew they were facing a battle they couldn't afford to lose. He rallied his crew, steeling their nerves for the impending confrontation. "Prepare for battle," he commanded, his voice ringing out with authority. "We may be outnumbered, but we will not go down without a fight." The pirates scrambled to their positions, manning the cannons and readying their weapons for the inevitable clash. Tension hung thick in the air as the two ships drew closer, each determined to emerge victorious. As the Scarlet Serpent loomed alongside the Black Pearl, the sound of cannon fire filled the air, shaking the very timbers of the ships. The sea churned with the fury of battle as the two crews clashed in a whirlwind of steel and gunpowder. 4 hours, the fight raged on, neither side willing to yield an inch of ground. But in the end, it was Captain Morgan and his crew who emerged triumphant, their unwavering resolve and fierce determination proving stronger than even the fiercest of adversaries. As the Scarlet Serpent limped away into the distance, Captain Morgan allowed himself a moment of satisfaction before turning his gaze once more to the island on the horizon. Their journey was far from over, but with their victory over Redbeard and his crew, they had proven that no obstacle was too great to overcome. With newfound confidence, they set course for the island, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead in their quest for the lost treasure of the Sapphire Sea. Chapter 4: Stormy Waters. As the Black Pearl approached the remote island, the weather took a turn for the worse. Dark clouds gathered overhead, and a fierce storm descended upon the ship with all its fury. The wind howled like a banshee, whipping through the rigging and threatening to tear the sails from their masts. The rain lashed against the deck, turning it into a slippery, treacherous battlefield. Captain Morgan gripped the wheel tightly, his jaw set in determination as he steered the ship through the tempest. Lightning illuminated the sky, casting eerie shadows across the deck as thunder rumbled in the distance. Despite their best efforts, the storm proved relentless, battering the Black Pearl mercilessly as it struggled to stay afloat amidst the raging seas. Waves crashed over the bow, threatening to engulf the ship in their frothy embrace, but Captain Morgan and his crew refused to surrender to the elements. With grit and determination, they fought tooth and nail to keep the Black Pearl afloat, their unity and camaraderie serving as their strongest lifeline in the face of adversity. Hours stretched into eternity as the storm raged on, testing the limits of their endurance and resilience. But just when it seemed all hope was lost, the clouds began to part, and the storm began to subside. Exhausted but triumphant, Captain Morgan and his crew emerged from the tempest battered but unbroken. Though the journey had been perilous, they had weathered the storm together, emerging stronger and more determined than ever to continue their quest for the lost treasure of the Sapphire Sea. Chapter 5: A Secret Island. As the last echoes of the storm faded into the distance, the Black Pearl emerged into a calm sea, its surface shimmering in the sunlight. Before them lay the remote island marked on the mysterious map, its lush greenery beckoning like a siren's call. With cautious optimism, Captain Morgan guided the ship toward the island's pristine shores. As they drew closer, the crew marveled at the beauty of their surroundings: towering cliffs, dense jungles, and hidden coves waiting to be explored. But as they set foot on the island's sandy beaches, they quickly realized that all was not as it seemed. Strange symbols carved into the trees, mysterious ruins half buried in the undergrowth. It was clear that this island held many secrets, and they were about to uncover them all. With the map as their guide, Captain Morgan and his crew ventured deep into the heart of the island, their senses alert for any sign of danger. They traversed treacherous terrain, crossing rushing rivers and navigating dense forests teeming with wildlife. But amidst the perils of the jungle, they also discovered wonders beyond their wildest dreams: hidden waterfalls cascading into crystal-clear pools, exotic flowers blooming in vibrant hues, and ancient relics hinting at a long-forgotten civilization. As they pressed on, following the map's cryptic instructions, they began to sense that they were drawing closer to their goal. But with each step deeper into the island's depths, they also found themselves facing ever greater dangers, from deadly traps to cunning adversaries determined to protect the island's secrets at any cost. Yet, with courage and determination, Captain Morgan and his crew pressed on, their spirits undaunted by the challenges that lay ahead. For they knew that the greatest treasures often lay hidden in the most unexpected of places, and they were determined to uncover the secrets of the mysterious island, no matter the cost. Chapter 6: The Cave of Wonders. Guided by the map's cryptic clues, Captain Morgan and his crew ventured deeper into the heart of the island, their footsteps echoing through the dense jungle. As they journeyed onward, they stumbled upon a hidden cave entrance concealed by thick vines and foliage. Intrigued by the possibility of finding clues to the treasure's whereabouts, they cautiously entered the cavern, their torches casting flickering shadows on the walls. Inside, they discovered a labyrinth of winding passages and dark chambers, each shrouded in mystery. As they delved deeper into the cave's depths, they encountered obstacles at every turn: crumbling walls, treacherous pitfalls, and ancient traps left behind by those who came before. But Captain Morgan and his crew pressed on undeterred, their determination unwavering in the face of adversity. Finally, after what felt like an eternity of twists and turns, they stumbled upon a chamber unlike any they had seen before. Illuminated by shafts of sunlight streaming through hidden crevices in the ceiling, the chamber glittered with untold riches: golden artifacts, jewel-encrusted relics, and chests overflowing with precious gems. But amidst the treasure lay something even more valuable: a shimmering sapphire, larger and more magnificent than any they had ever seen. It pulsed with an otherworldly light, casting a spell over all who beheld its beauty. For Captain Morgan and his crew, it was a moment of triumph, proof that their journey had not been in vain. But as they reached out to claim the treasure, a voice echoed through the chamber, sending shivers down their spines. "Beware, ye who seek the treasure of the Sapphire Sea," it intoned, its words reverberating off the walls. "For great power comes with great peril, and only those who are truly worthy shall inherit its secrets." With a sinking feeling in their hearts, Captain Morgan and his crew realized that their quest was far from over. Though they had found the treasure they sought, they now faced an even greater challenge: unlocking its mysteries and surviving the trials that lay ahead. Chapter 7: Traps and Treasures. As Captain Morgan and his crew stood in the Chamber of Treasures, the weight of the sapphire's warning hung heavy in the air. They knew that claiming the jewel would not be as simple as reaching out and taking it. Scanning the room with wary eyes, they searched for any signs of danger. The glint of gold and precious stones beckoned from every corner, but amidst the riches lay hidden traps, pitfalls disguised as shimmering pools, pressure plates concealed beneath ornate rugs, and ancient mechanisms waiting to spring to life at the slightest touch. With caution born of experience, Captain Morgan and his crew began to navigate the treacherous chamber, testing each step and scanning every inch of their surroundings for signs of danger. Every gleaming artifact, every glittering jewel could be a potential trap lying in wait. But amidst the dangers, they also discovered treasures beyond compare: ancient scrolls detailing long-lost civilizations, intricately carved artifacts hinting at untold mysteries, and relics imbued with mystical power. As they gathered these treasures, Captain Morgan and his crew also uncovered clues that hinted at the true nature of the sapphire and the trials they would need to overcome to claim it. They learned of guardians ancient and powerful, of riddles waiting to be solved, and of tests of courage and strength that would push them to their limits. Armed with newfound knowledge and determination, they pressed on, each step bringing them closer to their ultimate goal. For they knew that the sapphire held the key to unlocking the secrets of the lost treasure of the Sapphire Sea, and they would stop at nothing to claim it as their own. Chapter 8: Betrayal at Sea. As Captain Morgan and his crew prepared to leave the island with their newfound treasures, a sense of unease settled over the Black Pearl. The journey back to civilization would not be without its dangers, and they knew that their rivals would stop at nothing to claim the sapphire for themselves. But amidst the tension, a darker shadow loomed, whispers of betrayal among their own ranks. Suspicion hung thick in the air as the crew eyed each other warily, their trust shaken by the lure of untold riches and the promise of power. It was then that Captain Morgan received word of a mutiny brewing among his crew, a plot to seize control of the Black Pearl and claim the sapphire for themselves. With treachery lurking around every corner, he knew that they were sailing into a storm far more dangerous than any they had faced before. With a heavy heart, Captain Morgan confronted the mutineers, his voice ringing out with authority as he vowed to stand firm against their treacherous schemes. But the mutiny had already gained momentum, fueled by greed and ambition, and the crew's loyalty hung in the balance. In a desperate bid to quell the uprising, Captain Morgan offered a compromise, a share of the treasure for each member of the crew, provided they remained loyal and stood united against their common enemies. But for some, the allure of power was too great to resist, and they turned their backs on their captain, siding with the mutineers in a bid for supremacy. With the fate of the Black Pearl hanging in the balance, Captain Morgan and his loyal allies prepared for battle, knowing that their survival depended on their courage, cunning, and unwavering determination to emerge victorious against all odds. Chapter 9. Facing the Kraken. As tensions aboard the Black Pearl were at a boiling point, a new threat emerged from the depths of the Sapphire Sea, the legendary Kraken, a monstrous sea creature with tentacles as thick as tree trunks and a hunger for destruction. With the mutiny threatening to tear the crew apart from within and the Kraken looming on the horizon, Captain Morgan knew that they faced their greatest challenge yet. But he also knew that they had no choice but to stand together if they were to have any hope of surviving. With grim determination, Captain Morgan rallied his crew, setting aside their differences in the face of the impending danger. Together, they worked tirelessly to fortify the Black Pearl and prepare for the inevitable confrontation with the Kraken. As the monstrous creature closed in on the ship, its massive tentacles rising from the churning waves, Captain Morgan and his crew braced themselves for battle. Cannons roared as they unleashed volley after volley of cannon fire, each shot aimed at driving the Kraken back into the depths from whence it came. But the Kraken was relentless, its massive form undeterred by the onslaught of cannon fire. With each blow, it drew closer to the Black Pearl, its massive tentacles threatening to crush the ship and drag it beneath the waves. With no other options left, Captain Morgan devised a daring plan to lure the Kraken away from the ship, sacrificing a smaller vessel as bait to distract the creature long enough for the Black Pearl to escape. With nerves of steel, Captain Morgan and the select group of volunteers boarded the smaller vessel, braving the Kraken's wrath as they led it on a wild chase across the open sea. As the Black Pearl made its escape, they fought tooth and nail to evade the creature's grasp, their lives hanging in the balance with each passing moment. In the end, their bravery and sacrifice paid off, and they managed to lead the Kraken away from the Black Pearl, allowing their comrades to escape to safety. Though battered and bruised, they emerged from the ordeal victorious, their bond stronger than ever in the face of adversity. Chapter 10. The Guardian's Riddle. With the Kraken defeated and the mutiny quelled, Captain Morgan and his crew continued their journey towards the final destination marked on the map. But as they drew closer, they encountered yet another obstacle standing in their way, the Guardian of the Sapphire Sea. Legend spoke of a mystical guardian tasked with protecting the treasure of the Sapphire Sea, a being of immense power and wisdom who tested the worthiness of those who sought to claim the treasure for themselves. As the Black Pearl approached the Guardian's island sanctuary, Captain Morgan and his crew braced themselves for the challenge that lay ahead. They knew that the Guardian would not yield the treasure easily, and that they would need to prove themselves worthy of its trust. Upon reaching the island, they were greeted by a solemn figure cloaked in robes of shimmering blue, its eyes gleaming with ancient knowledge. The Guardian spoke in a voice that seemed to echo from the depths of the ocean itself, issuing a riddle that would test the limits of their wit and wisdom. "Speak, travelers, and answer me this," the Guardian intoned. "What is greater than God, more evil than the devil? The poor have it, the rich need it, and if you eat it, you'll die." The crew pondered the riddle in silence, their minds racing as they searched for the elusive answer. Time seemed to stand still as they weighed their options, knowing that the fate of their quest hung in the balance. And then, in a moment of clarity, Captain Morgan spoke, his voice steady and sure. "The answer is nothing," he declared. "For nothing is greater than God, more evil than the devil. The poor have it, the rich need it, and if you eat it, you'll die." A smile crossed the Guardian's lips as it nodded in approval, its eyes shining with newfound respect. "You have proven yourselves worthy," travelers," the Guardian said. "The treasure of the Sapphire Sea is yours to claim. But remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Use it wisely, lest you fall victim to its curse." With the Guardian's blessing, Captain Morgan and his crew set out to uncover the final resting place of the lost treasure, their hearts filled with hope and determination as they embarked on the final leg of their journey. Chapter 11. A Race Against Time. As Captain Morgan and his crew followed the map's clues to the final resting place of the lost treasure, they found themselves racing against time. Their rivals, emboldened by their recent victories, were hot on their trail, determined to claim the treasure for themselves. With every passing moment, the tension aboard the Black Pearl grew palpable. The crew worked tirelessly to decipher the map's cryptic clues, their eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of their adversaries. But as they drew closer to their destination, they encountered obstacle after obstacle, each one threatening to derail their quest. Treacherous currents, hidden reefs, and fierce storms tested their skill and resolve, pushing them to their limits as they fought to stay ahead of their rivals. With the fate of the treasure hanging in the balance, Captain Morgan and his crew pressed on, their determination unwavering in the face of adversity. They knew that they were running out of time, but they refused to give up hope, clinging to the belief that their perseverance would ultimately lead them to victory. As they neared the final clue on the map, a sense of anticipation filled the air. They knew that the treasure lay just beyond their grasp, waiting to be uncovered by those brave enough to seek it. But with their rivals closing in fast, Captain Morgan and his crew faced their greatest challenge yet, to outwit their adversaries and claim the treasure before it was too late. With the stakes higher than ever, they knew that failure was not an option, and they would stop at nothing to emerge victorious in the race against time. Chapter 12. The Final Showdown. As the Black Pearl approached the final destination on the map, Captain Morgan and his crew braced themselves for the inevitable confrontation with their rivals. They knew that their adversaries would stop at nothing to claim the treasure for themselves, and that the final showdown would test their courage and resolve like never before. With the treasure within their sights, the two ships clashed in a fierce battle, cannon fire echoing across the waves as they fought tooth and nail for control of the precious bounty. The sea churned with the fury of their conflict, each side refusing to back down in the face of overwhelming odds. Amidst the chaos, Captain Morgan and his crew fought with valor and determination, their hearts ablaze with the desire to emerge victorious against all odds. They knew that the treasure held the key to their future, and they would not let it slip through their fingers without a fight. But as the battle raged on, a new threat emerged from the depths of the ocean, the Kraken, drawn by the chaos and violence of the conflict. With its massive tentacles lashing out at both ships, it seemed as though all hope was lost. Yet, in their darkest hour, Captain Morgan and his crew found strength in their unity and resolve. With a coordinated effort, they rallied against the Kraken, driving it back into the depths with a barrage of cannon fire and daring maneuvers. With the Kraken defeated and their rivals vanquished, Captain Morgan and his crew emerged victorious, their hearts soaring with triumph as they laid claim to the treasure of the Sapphire Sea. Though battered and bruised, they had proven themselves worthy of the treasure's riches, and their legend would live on for generations to come. Chapter 13. Captured. Just as Captain Morgan and his crew celebrated their hard-won victory, a sudden turn of events plunged them into darkness once more. From the shadows emerged a fleet of Navy ships, their cannons trained on the Black Pearl. Trapped between the Navy's relentless pursuit and the treacherous sea, Captain Morgan and his crew fought valiantly, but were ultimately overwhelmed. With their ships surrounded and outnumbered, they had no choice but to surrender to the Navy's superior firepower. Bound and shackled, Captain Morgan and his crew were taken prisoner aboard the Navy flagship, their dreams of riches and glory dashed in an instant. As they languished in their cells, they could only wonder what fate awaited them and if they would ever taste freedom again. But even in captivity, Captain Morgan refused to yield to despair. With his crew by his side, he plotted their escape, biding their time and waiting for the perfect opportunity to break free from their chains and reclaim their destiny. Little did they know, their greatest challenge lay ahead, and the true test of their courage and resilience was yet to come. Chapter 14. Escape from the brig. In the depths of the Navy flagship's brig, Captain Morgan and his crew bided their time, waiting for the right moment to make their move. With each passing day, they meticulously planned their escape, using their wits and resourcefulness to outsmart their captors. Their opportunity finally came when a fierce storm swept over the sea, throwing the Navy ship into chaos. Amidst the confusion, Captain Morgan and his crew seized their chance, overpowering their guards and breaking free from their confines. With the thunderous roar of the storm filling their movements, they fought their way through the labyrinthine corridors of the ship, evading patrols and dodging enemy fire as they made their daring escape. At last, they reached the deck, where the raging tempest awaited them. But even as the winds howled and the waves crashed around them, they refused to be deterred. With grim determination, they commandeered a small dinghy and set course for freedom, leaving their former captors in their wake. As they sailed into the night, the stars above guiding their way, Captain Morgan and his crew knew that their journey was far from over. But with their freedom reclaimed and their spirits unbroken, they faced the challenges that lay ahead with renewed hope and determination. Chapter 15. Homecoming and Beyond. After their harrowing escape from captivity, Captain Morgan and his crew embarked on the final leg of their journey, the journey home. With the wind at their backs and the open sea stretching out before them, they set sail for familiar shores, eager to return to the lives they had left behind. As they approached their home port, they were greeted by cheers and applause from the townsfolk who had feared they would never return. But amidst the celebration, Captain Morgan and his crew knew that their adventure had changed them forever, and that they could never truly go back to the lives they had once known. With the treasure of the Sapphire Sea safely in their possession, they set about rebuilding their lives, using their newfound wealth and experience to chart a new course for the future. But even as they settled into their newfound prosperity, they knew that their thirst for adventure would never be quenched, and that the call of the open sea would always beckon them onward to new horizons. And so, with hearts full of gratitude and excitement, Captain Morgan and his crew bid farewell to their homeland once more, setting sail for destinations unknown, ready to face whatever challenges and adventures awaited them on the next leg of their journey. Thanks for watching.